Hi there everyone. Today I wanted to do a soft-spoken tech review video. This was requested, I can't remember by who, but it was requested. And the first thing that came to mind for me was my cell phone. Mainly because it's a very uncommon phone to have, and most people know nothing about the brand or the phone itself, so I thought it'd make it a good starting place. I've got my microfiber cloth. I'm just cleaning it up so it's not gross for you guys. But I'll dive right in. I've got a OnePlus 3. They've, since I bought this, come out with the OnePlus 3T, which has an extended battery, and that's pretty much the only other spec. I think it's slightly more powerful, but I still like mine better. And the brand is called OnePlus. That's something that's really confusing for people. The brand is called OnePlus, and this is the OnePlus 3. So their original phone was the OnePlus 1, and then they had the OnePlus 2, and now they have OnePlus 3. So, kind of funny. They're just now coming out with the OnePlus 5, I believe. And it's confusing because they skipped 4. Why do brands do this to us? They skipped 4, which is confusing, but I think it's because, like, in their country, like, the number 4 is an unlucky number or something like that, so whatever. But this is the phone I have. You can see my lights. I have it in the gold and white color. Oop, turned it on accident. I've got it in a cheap case, which I will take off right now. Okay. First of all, I will say that this phone is beautiful, which is one of the reasons I bought it. Oh, it needs a good cleaning. So, it's got a full metal case, and I will say, so the gold is like almost a white gold, which is uncommon. So, like, as compared to an iPhone, the gold on an iPhone is pretty yellow. This one's like really subtle, and in this lighting it actually looks silver, so it's not really a fair, you can kind of see it's gold there, but it's just really classy. And it's got an all metal body, which I love. And you can see the logo in here is like a little mirror finish right there. And there's the camera and the flash. And then this little strip of plastic is an antenna. And then I don't know if this is also an antenna or just there to match, but anyways, this phone is really great. One cool thing about it is when you buy it, it comes with a screen protector already installed. So, mine is already kind of scratched up just because I'm really rough with my phone, and I knew it had a protector on it, so it's just incentive to just not be careful, I guess. But it's really nice because everyone knows the struggle of getting a screen protector and then the stress of having to apply it. So it's nice that it comes with one already on it that's just perfectly applied. Yeah, so that's really nice. So like I said, I got mine in the gold and white because I'm basic. Let's see how to focus. There we go. And it's really thin. I like that a lot about it. On this side, we've got volume buttons, kind of a rocker situation. And then this is a notification slider similar to the iPhone. So it's got 3 stages. It's got normal, priority, and then silent. And then on this side, we've got the power/unlock button. And this is for the SIM card right here. And then on the front, we've got a notification light, which you probably just saw. Front facing camera. I think this is a proximity sensor. This is the speaker. On the bottom of the phone, we've got our speaker for listening to music and putting on speakerphone, USB Type-C charger, and the headphone jack. USB Type-C is great. Another feature of this phone is that it has something called dash charge. So it came with a wall charger that is, I believe, 4 amps, which wall chargers are usually 1 or 2 amps at the best. But this phone is actually rated to be able to use a 4 amp charger. So it charges super fast. I think their slogan is a day's power in half an hour. So, and it's true. You can get an almost full battery in just half an hour. So I love that because one of the reasons why I upgraded my phone, I used to have a Nexus 5, which I still stand by is a fantastic phone, and you can get them really cheap right now because it is an older model. One of the reasons I upgraded was because my Nexus's battery was, it's an older phone, so the battery is not so great, but also it was dying because I've just had it for so long. Susie's getting a drink. So I was getting a phone with a bigger battery, and then the fact that this one charges so fast is like, it doesn't even have to be that big of a battery, which is another reason why I don't regret waiting to get the OnePlus 3T, because, it has dash charge, so if I'm really in a tight space, I can just charge it, and it'll be good. Anyways, so this is the front. The side bezels are very thin, and the screen actually kind of curves on the edges, so that's like a really nice effect. The bezeled glass is like really beautiful. You can kind of see here on the side how it's metal, and then you can tell the glass curves around the edge. So I just think it's a really beautiful phone. Very happy with it. And then here we've got, it's not an actual tactile push-in button, but it's a fingerprint reader, and you get a little bit of haptic feedback with that. And then we've got buttons here. This is the back button, and I don't even know what you call that, but it shows all your recent apps, and you can disable these here. They just have a little LED behind them. You can actually disable those and have the on-screen buttons if you prefer, which is what I had with my Nexus 5. So I started with that, and then I wanted more screen space, so I switched to these. So, as you can see, I have like a million notifications all the time, which is very frustrating. Most of them are just garbage. So it's got a 1080p screen, and I think it's an AMOLED display, which means pure black on this screen is actually the screen off, which is fantastic because you do get that pure black, high contrast look, which I absolutely love. So yeah. Right now I've got the Google Now launcher, which is my preferred launcher. This phone runs on Oxygen OS, which is very, very similar to stock Android, which is my preference, and pretty much the only real phones you can get are the Google phones, so the Nexus line and the Pixel all have stock Android, which means there's no bloatware, just nothing, just taking up space, which is my preference. But Oxygen OS is very, very lightweight, and this company, OnePlus, actually will, like a lot of phones, you'll like void your warranty and get no support if you switch to like CyanogenMod, which is like an open source operating system for phones. But OnePlus actually is totally fine with that, which is really cool. In fact, I think it was the OnePlus 2, you could actually buy it with CyanogenMod already installed on it, so you would receive it and it would already have that on it, which is something just like really cool that this company did that I really, really support. So yeah. It's pretty quick. I really like it. Another reason why I upgraded my phone is because the Nexus 5 is notorious for having a bad camera and, more importantly, a bad autofocus sensor. It's just really bad. So this phone, this phone has a pretty good camera. A little view into my messy life. This phone has a really great camera. Let's see. You can do slow motion, time lapse, video. It's actually got a full manual mode, which is really cool. And you can do panoramas, of course. And it's got HDR. What else? Even the front-facing camera is still relatively good camera, so I'm happy with it. The new OnePlus phone that's coming out has the dual camera, kind of like the iPhone, where it's got a portrait mode and a zoom mode. So that's cool. I really don't have any negative feelings about this phone, like at all. I think it's totally beautiful, and I don't know, I'm just really happy with the specs on it, and I'm happy with Oxygen OS. It hasn't been annoying at all. One of the big differences for me, the thing that I immediately noticed with Oxygen OS, well, when I first got it, it actually had a lot more like kind of features, but they were a little annoying. So when you would go to this page, you would have, end all apps, but you would also have a button that was like a sweep icon. And if you hit that, it would actually force stop all of your apps, which I really loved because it saved battery, but it did have some problems, whereas like when you force stop all your apps, you're force stopping background processes, so things like it would log me out of like everything, and like it was a little bit annoying, and they actually ended up taking that off at one of the first updates. So I don't blame them for that. It caused some issues and it was a little confusing for some people, but that is something I do miss. So I had that feature, and then the main difference between, in my opinion, between Oxygen OS and stock Android is the drop down menu. So when you drop down, you've got, oh no, what am I opening? You've got, some of these are exactly the same, Wi-Fi, data, battery, Bluetooth, portrait mode versus rotate. Here we've got flashlight built right in. Airplane mode is showing. You can change what the lock button, if the buttons are going to be locked or not. And then most importantly to me is it has a night mode built right in. So for me, I used to use an app called Twilight, which I do recommend if you use your phone at night and you have trouble sleeping. It basically, you can set a timer, you can change the color, it has a lot of settings. And it basically helps prevent all the blue light from messing up your serotonin levels, which can prevent you from sleeping or just give you trouble sleeping. So if you use your phone at night a lot, go ahead and download an app called Twilight. It's awesome. But this phone actually has that built in, and I love that because I don't want to have more apps than I need. I try to keep it pretty minimal. And in the settings, you can change the tone and color. I don't think it has a timer on it, but honestly, the timer was always kind of annoying for me. So I like that it's just right there in my drop-down menu, built in, seamless. Love it. You've also got your auto brightness and your brightness slider. Again, like in stock Android, you can do widgets. So you've got all kinds of widgets for different apps. And wallpapers, just the same. Let's go ahead and make this my wallpaper. Home screen. There we go. So yeah, that's interesting. And then, yeah, it's just a really simplistic operating system. I used to have an iPhone. I just prefer Android just because it's more flexible. I've always felt like Apple was always like very weird with like not letting you move certain apps and like not letting you like, I don't know. It was always like really locked down tight, whereas I like with Android it's a lot more customizable. And I also like that I can, I don't have to like jailbreak my phone in order to do certain things. So I'm just, a preference on this, not to mention it's just so much cheaper. The other thing about this phone is that the specs truly do compete with iPhone and the Pixel. In fact, this phone is a little bit more powerful than the Pixel. I think the biggest drawback is that it doesn't have the same camera, because the Pixel's camera is like insane. And this phone doesn't have that much. You know, there's some drawbacks. The Pixel does have slightly better features in some areas, but this phone is generally as powerful, if not more powerful than the Pixel, and it was like a fraction of the cost. So OnePlus 3 is totally a competing phone. Absolutely. People just don't really know about them because they're a smaller company. But I mean, I'm a huge fan. I love this phone. This is like, I mean, I was already like a fan of the brand, but after I got this phone, I'm just totally sold on their company. Love this phone. I know in the past they've had trouble with customer support being really bad. I think they've made changes with that, so maybe not so bad now. But in general, I don't really care about that. I don't need to be calling customer service because I don't have any problems with this phone. It's a lot bigger than my old phone, but I've actually gotten really used to it and I really like it now. But yeah, this is the OnePlus 3 in gold and white. It's really great, and even though it's a smaller brand, you can still get like cases for it on Amazon. Like, they're still pretty easy to find, and like D-brand skins make skins for them. So like, even though it's kind of an unknown phone, it's still got enough of a following that you can find accessories for it. So I like that a lot. I like that it's USB Type-C because it's reversible, unlike, you know, USB, micro USB. I don't know. It's just like a really, really solid phone. I definitely recommend it. They're coming out with their new one, so this one's probably going to go down in price soon if you're interested in it. Not sponsored in any way. I'm just doing a video. Yeah. I could definitely do more tech reviews if you like these kind of rambly videos. I could do one on my watch, because I know a lot of people notice my watch. Or really just like any of my gear for filming too. Yeah, I've got plenty of gadgets I could review. So I know this wasn't super professional. I'm not, you know, I don't know a whole lot about electronics, but I think I know enough to actually give some interesting advice. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you tingles, and I hope it helped you relax. Make sure you subscribe to see more videos, and leave a comment if you have any recommendations for future videos. Anyways, I know this video was kind of short, but I'll see you in the next one. For now, bye-bye.